Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Billy Mitchell, Editor-in-Chief of FedScoop, and today I'm joined by Susan Wilson, VP of Data Governance and Privacy Segment Leader for Informatica. Susan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Billy. Thank you for this talk today. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, and it's fun to do this talk in conjunction with the Data and Action Summit, and I want to go through some of the top-level themes of this year's summit. And I want to start with, the past year and why, this time of crisis sort of showed why data management is so important within public sector organizations.
Yeah, Billy, we saw an acceleration in data management initiatives last year as the public sector organizations worked to address the pandemic. As a data leader, prior to joining Informatica many years ago, I always focused on finding the most important issues to solve. And while this was a tragic event for many organizations, it gave many data leaders the burning platform to deliver with urgency to accelerate budgets and collaboration. For instance, in the federal government, the need for timely, accurate, trusted, and governed data for better nationwide decision making on pandemic issues, to include fraud, waste, abuse associated with trillions of emergency and stimulus funding. And with state and local, they're a critical need for making locally focused, evidence-based decisions impacting public health, the economy, and social programs, while also ensuring data privacy and protection were maintained.
Susan, great start. Thanks for answering that. Let's move on, staying with the pandemic, but more so looking ahead. What major lessons learned in data management and sharing can be put into everyday use that were taken away from this past year?
Yeah, there are two major lessons learned. First, data is really at the center of accurate, timely decision making, and we must have the platforms and systems in place for positive impact now and in the future. These platforms also must be accessible to all different types of roles, functional and technical. We're not just allowing this to just be something that's centralized within a technology team, but it's really got to be worked out to the working edges of our organization. The second thing is this pandemic emphasized and reinforced the need for government agency integrated, trusted, governed, and shareable data per the 2019 Foundations for Evidence-Based Policymaking Act, which of course, as you know, requires all agencies to inventory their data. And it's really complementary to the federal data strategy. As I speak to CDOs on a weekly basis, in fact, recently I spoke to one CDO in the public sector. She mentioned she's focused heavily on the need to break down the data silos and to build data as a second language within her organization. We talked about the power of data and the impact that it has on organizations, those speed to decision making and getting those aha moments, right? Those insights that can truly transform organizations to leverage evidence-based decisions and actions.
So as organizations mature their data strategies and how they use data, what kind of outcomes can they begin to expect to benefit from?
Yeah, so a couple things. One, better public services, being that one-stop shop for citizens on par with commercial enterprises, especially around state and local level. They will see an increased speed and operational efficiency. Number two is better data privacy and protection, resulting from knowing what data we have, being able to find it, prioritize it, govern it, and know who has access to it and be able to protect it. In fact, let me give you one great example in terms of business outcomes achieved by the Department of State Overseas Building Operations, the OBO. Of course, as you know, they direct the Worldwide Overseas Building Program, and supports the U.S. government community serving abroad in concert with State Department bureaus, foreign agencies, and Congress. The OBO sets those priorities for design, construction, acquisition, maintenance, use, and sale of real estate properties. The OBO strives to automate processes and eliminate those silos across the enterprise to democratize data globally, to streamline embassy maintenance management, improve legacy building conditions, and construct award-winning embassies with modern architecture like the new locations in Mexico and Casablanca. Microsoft, Informatica, and Accenture are providing a comprehensive framework for success in the OBO modernization program through a joint effort to assist the OBO with data migration to the cloud. Informatica's data catalog identifies what data they have and applies Informatica data quality rules to cleanse that data and ultimately drive new insights with predictive analytics while meeting the requirements of Open Government Data Act of 2019. The OVO deployed their first data governance model to ensure standardized data practices and services while increasing cross-program coordination, right? Breaking down those silos and developing the data governance working group. These standardized best practices from this team really haven't enhanced the processes bureau-wide. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a great example, and thank you for that. As we close out here today, Susan, I'd like to ask you about the challenges that remain in the public sector's use of data, and what do you propose can be done to improve upon that?
Yeah, seeing this not only in the public sector, but also worldwide as I meet with many of our chief data officers in my global function. First one is operating with urgency. As bad as the pandemic has been, we need to seize the opportunity to ensure we learn from it with reference to the importance and urgency. I'm going to emphasize urgency of data to all facets of our lives. When I worked at Pfizer, we continuously had these reminders, not only the pandemic, but also that the urgency. We had this mantra that we said, look, the patient is waiting. So don't delay. Let's get these data initiatives out there. Let's do better with data. Let's break down those data silos. Let's increase our maturity. So use these learnings from the pandemic to instill urgency. The second thing is avoid making your program just a project, or worse, shelving it. Organizations need to continuously mature, grow, and avoid going back to normal. Organizations have really gained new insights as a result of what they found through the pandemic, especially around unexpected data correlation and analysis that allows us to innovate and improve data management with positive outcomes. The worst thing that we can do right now is to shelve those learnings and basically stall our programs, continue maturing, and that's really key for us.
Susan, this has been a tremendous conversation. Thank you so much for your time today.
Billy, thanks so much for the opportunity. And as I mentioned, I speak to chief data officers globally, about 10 or so a week. And the common theme I hear is we've got this great opportunity to build in a strong foundation for data management and governance. And it's key to our organization's transformation. And being a former customer, I understand the challenge as well as the excitement that comes with the job. And I'm personally honored to be part of a great company that helps thousands of customers worldwide achieve their success, just like they helped me at Pfizer. Billy, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Susan.